Level up your listening with Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds and headphones. With immersive sound and world-class noise cancellation for a not-so-silent night. Visit Bose.com/Spotify to shop sound that's more than a present.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. If my voice sounds a little different, because I just woke up, so overall, yeah, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to get straight on into today's podcast episode, but no, first things first, I would like to pay respects to DMX. I seen an article, and overall it said that he passed. So if it's true, I haven't checked social media since. I might go on there. I'll probably end up going on there at some point in time. Ended up forgetting that I just don't really want to be on social media today. But yeah, it's always something like sad or just crazy with social media. So I'm like, man, I really just, I'm working on that. I'm working on trying to break my social media addiction and just get it out of my system and just focus on YouTube and content, 100%. But yeah, it's overall messed up what happened with DMX, and prayers go out to his family. Prayers go out to, I'm not going to say I'm like the biggest DMX fan, but I did grow up listening to his music. So yeah, it's like a part of my childhood is being affected by it all, because like his music, it was definitely some hype music. That man, it's just overall sad, like, what happened with him. So, yeah, if it's true, then sucks, man. It really does suck. But anyways, today's episode, I wanted to get into kind of like yesterday's episode where it talks on, like, getting into gaming. But overall, I wanted to do an episode where it's getting into sneakers. Now, you can honestly get any type of sneakers that you want to get. Just make sure they're not fakes. That's just the bottom line of getting sneakers. Make sure that they are not fakes. How do you avoid fakes? Go to reliable places and get your shoes. Like, go to Foot Locker. Don't go to no Locker Foot. And if you go to a store and it says Locker Foot and they selling Jordans in there for, what tripped me out? Just for my sneakerheads out there that are in the shoes and stuff, and you're just listening to this just to see what I overall have to say. Because I got in the shoes a little bit late. So overall, like, this episode is pretty much for anybody that's getting into it late. What trips me out was that Air Jordan 1s used to cost $65 back in 1985. Now them shoes is going for like $100 or $200 or $190. Like, man, I would love to come across a store that sells and a reliable store at that sells Jordans for $65. But yeah, if you find some Jordans that are $65, one of two things. There are probably these like newer Jordans that's being released, like Russell Westbrook, or like because Air Jordans, they still do get released, but it's like a newer version. Like, of course, we all know like Jordan's not playing basketball anymore. But they're like a newer version, like for anybody that's like signed to the Jordan brand today, and so on. So anyways, but yeah, it's either the newer Jordans or some fake Jordans. So like I said, don't go to no place called No Locker Foot, or a place instead of it being Champs, it's called Chimps. What other places? It like finish, instead of it being Finish Line, it's just called Start. Like, and it's supposed like, don't go to Finish Line, Foot Locker, Champs. I know there's some stores that like they sell them at like a resale price. So I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into everything that you need to know about shoes today. Or if you're getting into it late and things and you're trying to figure out like, okay, where do I start? What do I do? Like, and you can honestly start anywhere, because that's how I started with getting into shoes. I was into like Adidas like lifestyle shoes. So I was getting like the EQT, like the 2017 editions or something like that. I can't really think of the exact names of them, but it was these Adidas shoes called EQT, but it was like a newer version of it. So I was getting those, and then eventually I widened out my variety and started getting Nike shoes, like Nike lifestyle shoes. And then I remember when I bought my first pair of Air Jordans. So here's the thing that you need to know about Air Jordans that I didn't know about them. There are retros, and then there's the newer editions, and the newer. And so to explain that to you, so they overall have it where the newer editions are pretty much like an exact like replica of the older editions, but the newer editions are gonna most likely be like 115, $120 rather. But actually, you know what? No, backtrack that. The mids are going to be 115 to $120. Low tops are usually 90. The high top, like OG ones, which are just overall the difference between it, like that and the mids, of course, like it's the name. It's slightly bigger, and the tongue is like it's different. The tongue is instead of it having like the Jordan emblem on the mids, on the OG like high top ones, it has the Nike sign. I need to turn my TV off real quick because it's being distracting. So, anyways, yeah, there's that, and I didn't know that at first. Yeah, it was pretty confusing to me when I got in the shoes because I was like, wait a minute, what? And so, yeah, then there's like retro, and retro is pretty much like shoes that came out, but they're coming out for another second time. So there's that. And then yeah, it's a lot with Jordans. Like it's honestly it's crazy how much like you need to know about Jordans and stuff. But what are the most comfortable Jordans? If you were to ask me, I like 11s, but others might disagree and they might say some other shoes are more comfortable to them. But my go-to shoes, I wear ones. I wear the 11s a lot. Those are probably like my go-to shoes to wear a lot. But they're like the shoes that I feel like that they do get released a lot by the Jordan brand. Like I had to say throughout the time when I've gotten into sneakers, I feel like ones have always been getting released, whether it's a mid top or like a low top or just any types of ones whatsoever. Versus like they got like twos, threes do get released a little bit. I feel like fours somewhat get released. Fives, I feel like they might have been released like a few times, maybe. Sixes, they somewhat get released. Sevens, I don't even think I think maybe sevens might have gotten released one time out of the few years I've really been in the shoes. Eights, I'm trying to think. Have I seen a pair? I don't even know if a pair of eights. Oh, actually, no, they did. They did because it was like the reflective, the championship, which is like these. I think they were reflective, but anyways, but yeah, other than that, it's like, ones, I feel like they get released like all year long. Like you can check and there's always like some different colored ones coming out, or you could go into a store and most likely find a pair of ones sitting on the shelves. But if you do, they're most likely mid tops or low tops. You're not gonna find no pair. I actually did, and I made the mistake of getting some mid tops. And that's the thing with like, and that's the like upsetting part about it is that the shoes that was that I seen that were the OG like retros and stuff was like those were some popular shoes, and instead I ended up getting some newer ones because I liked the color scheme of it. The color scheme was exactly like the royal blue ones, but the mid top ones had this paint splatter on it. My thing is like I like more wilder looking things. Like I don't like stuff that's just plain. But now I know like, oh well, the stuff that is just plain is usually the best one. So man, yeah, I'm still to this day kind of tripping about that. Like, I really passed up on them shoes, and they were sitting on the shelves for the longest. Like, fam, is you serious? Like, yeah, last time I'll make that mistake. If I see some shoes, I'm all like, oh, wait a second, hold on, them shoes is better. So, but anyways, yeah, with Jordans, it's like there's so many different types of colored Jordans out there. I mean, you can honestly get anything that you could get it out like any outfit that you have. So let's say for an example, you wear like a lot of I'm not saying like ain't nobody no gang members or anything, but let's say like your favorite color is blue. So you want some blue Jordans. they have those. If your favorite color is red and you want some red Jordans, they have those. Those are like the go-to colors. Those are like the OG colors of Jordans. So if you like red or blue Jordans, you're good. If you like green Jordans, they got those. Gold Jordans. There's these like ones that I just recently bought where it has like this neon green and then this gold like back to it. They call them like the Volt ones. They look pretty nice. I like them. But other than that, yeah, I've gotten so many different types of Jordans and so many different types of colorways. They have like all white, all black, black with some color. I mean, and then that's another thing that you can do with shoes. Is customize them yourself. So if you're like an artist or a painter or whatever, and you overall is like, hey, I want to give me a pair of shoes and add some art to it. People do that too. Like I've seen the Ed Net Netty, and that's to like move on to like other shoes. I've seen the Ed Net Netty Air Force Ones, and yeah, those would probably be some of my like the one pair of shoes I don't have, but I'm like, fam, I would love those shoes because Ed Net Netty was my show growing up. But anyways, now beat 'em up shoes. There's Jordans, now there's beat 'em up shoes. There can be some Jordans. I mean, you could treat any shoe as a beat 'em up type shoe where overall you just wear it throughout any weather condition. You don't care. It could be raining, snowing, you could be out in the middle of a desert, you can be anywhere. And if you want to beat them shoes up, you very well can do that. So, but no, moving on to like beat 'em up shoes and other different types of shoes. Nike Air Forces will probably be another pair of like beat 'em up shoes. Really, it depends on what kind of colorway it is. I know a lot of people that's what trips me out about people is that they say that they get white Air Force Ones, Nike Air Force Ones, and wear them only a few times, and then as soon as they get dirty, then they just stop wearing them and go out and get another pair. I'm like, fam, I've seen people that have worn white Air Force Ones down to the bone. Like, no, you don't buy a pair of shoes and wear them only a few times. And then my thing is that like if there's like some newer shoes that I got that are different than the Air Force or whatever, then okay, I'll wear those shoes. But I will go back and wear them other shoes like if they cross my mind and stuff. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't wear them no more because they got a smudge mark on them. I'm like that. I don't buy shoes. I know I'm gonna wear them. So, anyways, but yeah, people they do that, and I'm like, that's just a waste of money. Yeah, you'll hear it a lot where people be wasting their money on certain shoes. But anyways, but no, going back to like beat 'em up shoes. So those like pretty much like Vans, Nike Air Forces, like any shoes that's like probably under $100 can be beat 'em up shoes. And there's a lot of different options out there. But the question is, are they gonna be comfortable? That's the thing with beat 'em up shoes. Usually beat 'em up shoes ain't really that comfortable. So yeah, Air Forces they do get comfortable after a while, but if you want to get like some like Vans, Vans is literally like your foot, a rubber like layer, and it's like a very thin layer too, and then ground. Like there's nothing, like there's no midsole to Vans. So that's why it's like yeah, with like Jordans, Air Forces, there's always like in like some Nike shoes there's always like a mid. So I think even with the it's at least like with these like Nike Blazers, cause Nike they have it where you can customize shoes and come out with a cool colorway and stuff, and then add your I came out or I customized these shoes and made it to where on the midsole it said TMossBoss. Them my all time. Those are the one pair of shoes. I'm like, nah, I love those shoes. Them my shoes right there. I'm like, I love those a lot. So, but anyways, but them shoes, like, I think it has like a little bit of a midsole, but it doesn't feel like I haven't worn them outside yet. I need to wear them outside one of these days. But yeah, I was like them. But Vans, I remember when I got me my first pair of Vans. Well, I actually did have a pair of Vans when I was in high school, but they didn't feel uncomfortable. So that's why I'm like, hey, yo, what has changed? But that's why I have heard like shoes from like back then have changed over the years. Cause there's this YouTuber that I watch a lot, and I would recommend if you guys want to like learn more about like shoes and everything, like cause I feel like I'm just kind of like just telling the story. But if you want to go like deep in depth with a particular shoe, there is this guy on YouTube that I watch a lot named the YouTube channel's name is Wear Testers, but I think the guy's name that usually be doing the videos is like Nightwing or something like that. But yeah, that dude he does like a lot of different videos on shoes. There's another guy named Seth Fowler. There's a lot of different people. Even I do reviews on shoes and stuff. So, but I feel like with the other guys, me, I'm just kind of like giving off my first impression and just details and things I've noticed about the shoes. These guys go into like a whole history lesson, like when the shoe was created, all this. I'm just over here telling people like whether the shoes is gonna be comfortable or not. So that's all that really matters to me at the end of the day. But no, that was what I remember watching about in a wear testers video. So there's these new like quote unquote Air Jordans that came out, but they were like some new additions. They were supposed to be like a newer version of like some ones that came out back in 95, which was the Air Jordan 11s. But I guess like over the time, like that's what Nightwing said, that over the time like they lost their comfort. That and it was like when they had kept like releasing them and retroing them, that throughout the time like they felt different. They didn't feel like cushioning or and I'm like I don't know, because I was born in 96, so I was like I ain't really know, like maybe if I was born around the time when Nightwing was born or maybe a little bit earlier, I probably would have understood it better. But I'm like, yeah, I didn't know. So I'm like, I was just like, well, I wouldn't know until I try them. That's what I do. That's what I want to do one of these days, is get me a pair of some like old like retro like 90, because I think the colorway came out in 96. It might well, they say that it was released in 95. I don't know. But anyways, I do want to go and get me an old pair of Air Jordan 11s, like the ones that came out back originally when they like very first came out. But them shoes cost $1,500, and I'm like, fam, I don't really want to spend $1,500 on those shoes. But I'm like, if they're like in good condition, I gotta see the shoes first. I'm like, if they're in good condition and stuff, then I'm like, okay, maybe, possibly. But I'm gonna have to be rich and making $1,500 like a minute and stuff. So that'll be the only way I'll go out. Right now, no, I'm going out and getting the $200 pairs that gets released in stores and stuff, the newer editions. So, but anyways, but no, that's what Nightwing was saying. Like, so there's these like newer versions of them that came out, but they wasn't like an exact replica. They were like kind of modified a little bit. They were different, but they were overall named after the shoe. But he said that the newer ones feel just like the older ones, and I'm like, that kind of leaves me a little bit curious about them. So yeah, I was like, once I heard that, I was just like, well, man, like now I want to get the shoes to know how they feel, but also, I just want to go out and get me a pair of the like the older ones and stuff. But yeah, you'll see that a lot where brands and companies will modify a shoe, like call it like instead of it call. So they'll like the Air Jordan 1 for a prime example. There'll be like Air Jordan 1 Zoom Comfort or some crap, and they'll still look like the Air Jordan 1, but there'll be like some differences with it. I know there's the one shoes they look extremely different, is the off-white Air Jordan 1s. And yeah, if you look at those shoes and they look like, you can tell like, oh, okay, well, like the shoes, like, it looks like, I feel like what do you call it, like twins where they don't look alike, but they were like, they're still considered twins. Like, it's pretty much, though, that's how I would describe off-white Jordan 1s and then regular Jordan 1s. It's those twins, like, they're twins, but you can definitely tell them apart. So anyways, but yeah, and even like with the Jordan brand, I'm starting, because even with these like Volt ones, I noticed like some, because they have like some differences with the shoes, and so yeah, they'll do that. They'll modify a shoe and change it up on you and stuff. But anyways, and then with Nike shoes, going back to Nike shoes, like there's so many different types of Nike shoes and Adidas shoes. You can honestly look through their catalog of shoes, and they're always coming out with some new shoe, whether they're comfortable or just some just regular shoes. And yeah, there's so many different types. But the shoes that you want to get, like you, not even like that you like them, but you overall want to just get them just so you can show off, are the shoes that be selling out within minutes. Them be the shoes that you want to get. And so to talk on that, resellers and retail price and all that crap. So let's say, for an example, there's a pair of Air Jordan 1s that's coming out, right? Retail price is like $200, okay? And so you go on a website to get them, sold out. So at that point, you're like, dang, well, what's so special about them shoes? Well, them happen to be the shoes that Jordan wore in his last like few games or something like that. So they're iconic at this point. Everybody wants them. Or they're just overall like there's just some like backstory behind why everybody likes them. So there's that. So then you're all like, oh well, I really do like those shoes. I'm gonna go and explore around and see. So you go and you check out Foot Locker, you check out Champs, you check out Finish Line, you check out literally every reliable store out there to try to find them shoes. Can't find them. So then that's when you come across reselling websites. Now, reselling websites, they charge a little bit extra. So, for an example, let's say if some shoes they just came out, they cost like $200, somebody's going to up the price by like $30 and make a $30 profit. So, overall, at the end of the day, to answer that question, no, nothing is being added to the shoe for it to be an extra $30 from that person. So that's why I'm like, it just doesn't really make any sense to me. And I know people, they're all like, oh, supply and demand. Like, I don't like when people, they try to like tell me about the reselling business, because I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I gotta spend $1,500 on some shoes that cost 100. The Air Jordan ones that I want to get, the old ones back from like 96, them shoes only cost $125 back then. So my thing is that if I'm spending that, okay, I'm fine with that. I am 100% fine with that. But if I'm spending $1,500, I'm like, fam, you could have overall not bought the shoes and then gave me a chance to buy the shoes and spend retail on it. Like, and it's funny when people, they try to argue with you over stuff like that. I'm like, would you go out of your way and spend $20-something thousand on a pair of shoes that cost $65? Like, and that's an actual legit thing. If you go on there and you look up like the original like Air Jordan ones, like the ones that Jordan was wearing, like the Breads, the first pair of Air Jordans that he debuted, or I think it was then also like the royal blue ones. I can't remember the history behind the royal blue ones, but yeah, them shoes be costing like $15,000 and up, and them shoes used to cost $65. Like, seriously? Like, I'm like, bruh, I'd rather wait for the shoes to get re-released and I spend $200 and something on them, but I ain't spending no $15,000, $20,000. I'm like, unless it's like the actual Jordan, like he wore them shoes, like he autographed them shoes, or there's something being added to it. Other than that, if there ain't nothing being added to it, I'm not spending that much on those shoes. So yeah, you'll have it where people try to. And I remember somebody, they came onto my they were trying to, well, they wasn't doing it with shoes, they were trying to do it with an Xbox, or it might have been a PlayStation, whichever. I think it was an Xbox, but the newer ones, and they were trying to like they were commenting underneath my comments to random people trying to resell it. I'm like, no, you ain't gonna be using my channel as no website to try to resell stuff. I'm like, nah, that's definitely getting deleted. So I'm like, no, you hit the wrong place for that. You go somewhere else and do that crap, but you ain't coming to my channel and scamming my fans. So anyways, but yeah, at the end of the day, I see it as a scam, because I'm like, fam, what am I spending that much money for? And I'm like, and you didn't even spend that much, and you wouldn't even spend that much money on them shoes. So yeah, bro, resellers, they are crazy. They overall, they're just doing things for money. They don't care about people wanting like their dream shoe and stuff, because at the end of the day, that's the only reason why I want it. I was like, when I had, because I remember I went to go out and get me a pair of like the Bread 11s, which are the Air Jordan 11s, but it's a black, white and red colorway, and I love them shoes. Them shoes is amazing. And I remember when I tried to like go out and get those shoes, I couldn't. And all these reselling websites was like trying to like, they were just selling them for crazy amounts. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And plus, at the time, I didn't really like buying things online and ordering them because I wasn't home to get them. So I had been devastated and upset and been trying to burn down the city or the state of Washington if somebody would have took my Bread 11s. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I gotta be home for that type of stuff. So I probably would have ordered them online, but then I'm like, nah, like because I gotta work and I can't, tell my supervisor or my boss like, oh yeah, I'm staying home today so I could go out and get me a pair of shoes. Like, that's not a reason to stay home, in my opinion. So overall, yes, I missed out on those shoes. But shout out to this store called West Coast Boutique. They did sell it for like a little bit more, but it's a business. It's a store. I'm not selling it to some 15-year-old kid in freaking, I don't know, California somewhere, so he can like make a YouTube video talking about, oh yeah, I just finessed the game. No. I'm like, that's, I go to stores and get my shoes, or reliable places. So they had a pair. I was able, and that's why I had liked them, because they allowed me to where I can trade in the shoes, trade in some shoes that I had got throughout the time or throughout COVID, and give it to them, and I could get my breads. And so I was like, at the end of the day, I could care less about them shoes. I got my bread 11s. That's all that matters to me. So yeah, I was happy about that. But anyways, just overall, go to stores. Go to stores and get your shoes, or go to stores like West Coast Boutique, where they do sell like rare shoes, but you can trade in a pair of shoes. Or but like make sure it's like some good shoes. Make sure it's like, don't trade in no dad shoes. Don't trade in no like Nike shoes they cost. So I mean, if it's like some very very popular shoes, then you might have a chance. But if it's some shoes where it's like ain't nobody heard of them and stuff, like it's like some famous footwear shoes, and you trying to trade them in for some popular Jordans, yeah, you might. I'm gonna just save the embarrassment. Like save you the embarrassment. Don't do that. Okay, you need to just wait till you have the money for it. Or if you come across a bunch of different dope Jordans, but if they're like better than the breads, don't, then yeah. If I, like, for an example, if I would have had like the OG Jordans from back in the day, ain't no way possible I'd trade that. It looked like I just had to miss out on them breads. So anyways, I feel like there's a lot more. I might end up doing a part 2 to this episode, but I feel like I did cover over everything I need to cover. So anyways, hopefully this podcast episode was helpful. If not, then reach out to me on social media. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram at TMossBoss. And you can like my page on Facebook, TMossBoss fan page. Subscribe to one of my 31 YouTube channels. I also have a sneaker channel. And I also post sneaker videos on my main channel, TMossBoss. But my sneaker channel name is Sneakers Insight. And yeah, or Sneakers Insight. Like, it's like insight is one word. It's like not sneakers, insight. That's actually a good concept though. But anyways, regardless, I should do that as a series or something. Like go around check, like, you know. All right, that's like, I'm saving that for another episode, brainstorming and stuff. But anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.